Hello, and welcome aboard to this episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to following the entire story of One Piece from beginning to end as we focus on each volume. We keep the discussion spoiler-free for new fans of the series, so this is the perfect place to follow along, whether you're new to the series or just want to revisit the world of One Piece with us. This week, we will be covering the first part of Volume 58. The name of this era is Whitebeard, which covers chapters 563 through 568. My name is Joel, and I'll be your host. And joining me today, we have Evan.
Evan here.
And we have Sean.
This is Sean.
Yeah, so we are picking up the middle of the war. It's now kind of like in the swing of things. And things are starting to now heat up after cooling down, but we'll get a little bit more into that in just a little bit.
The name of this era is Whitebeard seems to be pretty epic.
Yeah.
Like possibly foreshadowing.
But we haven't gotten to that chapter yet, so you can have that to look forward to next episode. So before we get things going, just a little overview for where we left off. Upon Luffy's arrival, he informed Whitebeard that he overheard the Navy plans to move Ace's execution ahead of schedule. With this new information, Whitebeard was able to stand guard as the Navy made preparations to set up a trap. The Whitebeard pirates were able to avoid being surrounded as they took out the Navy ships on the sides. Ivankov confronted his former friend Kuma, who is no longer the person he once was, as the transformation into a pacifista has now been completed. Luffy charged towards Ace with the assistance from the Whitebeard pirates and his allies from Impel Down. Sengoku ordered the transponder sail transmissions to be cut, but Bucky's followers hijacked one for themselves. From the rear, Sentomaru arrived with the pacifista army. As Whitebeard prepared to enter the battle, he was met with one of his allies, World Spider Squard, who had been unaccounted for. Squard took his sword and stabbed Whitebeard through. Yeah, so we left it in a pretty dramatic spot.
What a jerk.
So how about we get into the chapter so we can find out what his reasons were.
Let's do so.
Chapter 563, One Man, One Heart. The entire battlefield is shocked that one of Whitebeard's allies stabbed their leader. Marker rushes in and pushes Squard to the ground, demanding answers. Squard accuses Whitebeard of making a deal to save the main Whitebeard crew and Ace at everyone else's expense. Aki Inu met with Squard and told him this, and that the proof would be that the Navy would be attacking the Whitebeard fleet. As the onlookers of the world wondered if this was true, Sengoku ordered Aokiji to freeze the last transponder sail, then activate the surrounding encirclement wall. Whitebeard calls Squard a stupid son for believing the Navy's lies and hugs Squard. He says Ace is not the only son that he cares about, and he loves them all. Whitebeard sends Quakes to shatter the icebergs on the sides, and then shouts a rallying cry for the pirates to follow him into battle. All right, so thoughts on this one?
Immediate forgiveness. You got played, my boy, but it's all right. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, seemed a bit rash from Squard.
Yeah, a little manipulation going on with the Navy. You're trying to get them to turn on each other and start to sow seeds of doubt. So yeah, the Navy's not above, trying anything just to kind of get an advantage in this war.
Bro.
Yeah. So what do you guys think specifically of Whitebeard's reaction to being stabbed by one of his allies?
It's in the heightened world of One Piece, it makes a certain amount of sense of just this level of I mean, it just doesn't seem like it hurt him that much in the grand scheme of things. He still seems pretty well, all right, we'll keep going. All right, I got stabbed through the chest, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, Marco makes a point where he says Whitebeard could have dodged it, but he didn't. So he said even if Pops got caught off guard, he could have easily dodged it. So I think he was kind of making a statement with that.
Yeah, he plays it pretty cool. I also feel like he shows a lot of great leadership characteristics in this chapter. Like immediately forgiving Squard, like showing strength even though he's been stabbed directly through the chest, and kind of keeping a cool head in this situation that's could turn the tides of the entire war. Also like how he doesn't really confirm or deny the allegations against him in this moment. He kind of just is like, you can believe what you want to believe. I'm not going to, make up excuses or try to convince you one way or the other.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of strong leadership traits being shown here.
Yeah, I think he's basically saying it without using words. I think he's saying like from his actions and the things that he does say, I think he's trying to express like what the truth really is without trying to convince them by like begging, like, oh, like you got to believe me, like I would never do that to you. Like he's not really resorting to that. He's just more like, essentially his reaction to Squard is like he gives him a hug.
Right.
So he's like you're a stupid son, but like I love you no matter like what you do. Like you can stab me and like you can like hurt me, but I still love you. Like he has a sense of being like this like true father figure to these people, and I actually like really love this this reaction. Like I feel like Whitebeard is kind of representing positive masculinity because he's not like afraid of being like he's like this big tough pirate in this pirate world, and he's talking about loving like his sons like a family, and like he's like giving like the hugs and stuff like that. He's like giving positive like affection. I feel like this is something that's like in the world of pirates. I feel like this is just such a like an interesting way to like handle like being a pirate.
Totally. Yeah, that's such a great point. Because we've seen all kinds of leaders in the pirate world. But yeah, Whitebeard's a real one for sure.
Yeah, even like, comparing like, Kuro from like early on in the series where we had like him say like the most important thing is the captain and his subordinates are only there to serve him. Like he's willing to throw their lives away like they're nothing. Whereas Whitebeard, again, one of the greatest pirates in the world, has such a different message. And he legitimately loves his crew and would like go to these lengths for any of them. And kind of like how we talked about before, how like he's not like chastising Ace for what he's done or getting into the situation. Like he's not like getting angry at his pirate crew. He's just here to support them. So I really do think he has such a positive approach to his crew, and he really wants to foster like this environment that's actually a really positive environment. That's why like they have such an affection for the captain. Like they legitimately like call him like pops and like father. So they also kind of return it as well. So it's not like a one-way thing. It's like a mutual thing.
Yeah, that's a great point. We don't even see that kind of leadership on the from the Navy side either.
Yeah. Yeah, compared to like what we saw like Sakazuki do, like or Aki Inu, when the guy's like, I just want to go home to my family. I don't want to fight in this war. He's like, all right, well you can die an honorable death and do them like a favor. Yeah.
So brutal.
Again, like one of the highest officers in the Navy, and that's how they handle that situation. So yeah, big contrast. Yeah, and then like the Navy again was trying to set up this situation where they were intentionally only attacking the Whitebeard fleet, not the main crew, to make it look more like a setup. So Whitebeard was looking bad because like his own people from his crew were being protected. So that kind of like made Squad believe the situation. So Squad got manipulated, and it's it's a painful thing for him as well, because he felt like he was betrayed by like the person he thought he can count on. So he had a lot of emotions going on too, and yeah, again, the Navy was just trying to manipulate the situation and create this advantage in like a deceptive way.
Yeah, we also see Whitebeard destroying the walls of ice in this chapter. And it's kind of like you, and to further your point that you're making before, it's kind of like Whitebeard is like the classic like actions speak louder than words. Like he's not gonna defend himself, but he's gonna show you the truth through his actions.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do love how after all that was kind of said and done, he's like, "You guys can believe what you want, but if you're with me, like we're gonna fight to the death. Yeah, we're gonna go down swinging. Like we're not just gonna sit back and let the Navy walk all over us." So he's very committed and passionate about the crew and like the lengths again they would go to save one of their own. But yeah, he made the point that like everybody's important to him. But he wants to go down swinging. It's kind of like going back to the moment where he like first recruited Ace, where he's like, "Yeah, be one of my sons and wreak havoc under my name," kind of deal. Where he put his like hand out for him. So it's like the same kind of like recklessness where they like let's just go all out, you know.
And with that, Whitebeard leaves the ship.
Finally,
hops off the Moby Dick. Yeah. The pirate's king piece makes its first move.
Yep. He can only go one square at a time, though.
As masculine as he may be, he's definitely more the queen in this scenario. I feel like because Ace is kind of the king in a way.
I can see that. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, I like that analogy better.
I do love. Did you guys already? I'm sorry, I've been kind of lost in a mind haze here. You talk about Crocodile, like yelling at like, "Shut the fuck up! You, the one the guy who beat me would never be this weak."
No.
Yeah, everybody's shocked at that. Like Crocodile, Croc boy. Even Mr. One is like,
Yeah, he's like, my goal is to beat you. So if you look pathetic, you're making me look bad.
Come on, you apes! Do you want to live forever? Gives me very much the vibes of Whitebeard's "Kiss Your Lives Goodbye" at the end.
Hey, you guys get to move on?
You ready?
Okay, chapter 564, The Man Who Shook the World. As Whitebeard and his followers charge in, Squard falls to the ground in guilt for being so gullible. Marco tells him to get his act together. Whitebeard is confronted by John Giant, who is no match for the pirate, as he shifts not only the ground of the island, but the surrounding ocean itself. The encirclement wall fails to come up in front of the execution platform, as it's blocked by ice. So the three admirals protect the platform to prevent it from getting knocked over. Luffy tries to stretch up to the platform, but the Navy is able to free the wall in time, knocking Luffy off. One section of the wall still won't raise thanks to Oris' body. Sengoku gives the order for Aka Inu to rain down magma with a meteor volcano to melt the ice the pirates are using as footing.
Shit is heating up, both physically and both metaphorically and literally.
Yep.
Making moves. Yeah,
so the admirals are definitely like also flexing their muscles here too, and showing like why they're such a force to be reckoned with. Both like we have seen Aokiji before, but we haven't really seen Aka Inu. So now we're also seeing like what makes him so formidable. And he's also a powerhouse.
Yeah, we see them deflect Whitebeard's blast here, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
An ability we hadn't seen really countered up to this point.
Yeah, I think it's just it's interesting to see how they do it too. Like they like work together. They all kind of put their hands out to like stop it. I think it's interesting that they stand there. They don't like jump up in the air and try to like shoot attacks at. They pretty much just kind of put their hands up and stop it somehow. So it's not really clear exactly what they're doing, but they just stand there with their hands out.
Very interesting.
And they also kind of dicker a little bit here too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're all blaming each other.
And you were saying, Evan?
Oh, I was just gonna say, speaking of interesting moves, we get to see Whitebeard pull out another tool of his toolbox, seeing this like ability to kind of warp the ground on which they stand on. I don't know exactly how to. Kind of is able to like shift the world almost. It's very cool. It almost looks like he's using like it kind of the way it's drawn of him like kind of grabbing the air and pulling on it kind of looks a little bit like Fishman karate in that one panel, just the way it's illustrated, not the actual ability, but he's able to like shift the ground and kind of catch everyone off guard and catch everyone off balance. And the way it's depicted on the next page of like these kind of rings of the ground, all of these planes from the ground just kind of being warped and shifted in this kind of like circular. It's pretty cool looking on the page, and the scale of it is absolutely massive.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really cool the way that it's portrayed here. Like you said, like we see him like literally grabbing the air, and like we see people start like kind of like falling over. It's like they're kind of we see like they're kind of slanted, and it's like unclear exactly what he did. But then we see like when you turn the page, you can see just like all the different layers. So like he is literally shifting like not only the island but like the ocean around them as well into like kind of different like planes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like throughout the see that it's kind of like rings where like they're like rotating. So we see he's actually just tilting the entire like plane that they're standing on, and like they can't like keep their footing because like they're now being tilted like on the side.
Yeah, absolutely unreal. I don't know if we've seen a Devil Fruit ability affecting this scale before. Like this is pretty insane.
Yeah,
I think the one that comes to mind is like Aokiji's like water ability is like the only other one that comes to mind on just like the scale and grandeur of this ability. It's very cool to see.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say as well as Aokiji, or maybe like Enel or Eneru as well. Like he also has like, yeah, those are probably the two biggest examples of like power at this scale.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
And then Doflamingo, just kind of laughing. He's like amused by it. He's like that old geezer is unstoppable.
Doflamingo is always smiling. I don't think there's a single panel I've seen where he's not smiling.
He's just kind of loving the chaos.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about?
Doflamingo.
Oh, Doflamingo, yeah. Yeah.
Always having a good time.
He definitely seems like a mentally stable character.
Totally.
That man is just straight edge. He gets up at 6 a.m. every morning, does some housework. Totally just everyday life.
Yeah, he makes a respectable living.
Yeah.
Everything's on the up and up.
Oh, yeah. What's that, slavery? No.
No, he's giving them employment. Yeah, that's what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then Whitebeard also follows up the shifting, where he also punches at the giant and uses the tremor power, and like he cracks the air in front of him, and then like that's enough to like defeat the giant. So he basically just defeats the giant like in one punch.
Yeah,
I would do it.
I think in that same punch, it was going to destroy the tower in which Ace is being held. But then I think that same blast is the one that was stopped by the admirals, right?
Yeah, that's one. Yeah. So they want the platform to go down because like now we can get to Ace. So yeah, like let's protect the platform so they can't get to him.
Yeah, these three admirals are going to be a problem.
Just a bit.
We also see Sengoku's next plan in action here is the walls extend upward, kind of trapping the pirates in like this center ring where all the ships are located.
Yeah. Yeah, so we are seeing like the phases of this plan, and how there was like another step to it to come.
Yeah.
So like they also kind of like they have the home field advantage because they have time to prepare this, and they like have been able to kind of set up this trap for them. So they've been trying to also use the location of the fight to turn the war in their favor. So they always kind of have like another thing to come.
From beyond the grave, Oars is still helping them by like shorting out the power of the thing or something with his blood. Like,
yeah. Yeah, Ours was a real one.
Ours was a real one.
Yep. We also immediately after that see the meteor volcano attack, which is very cool looking, as these like giant meteors of lava in the shape of fists fall upon the pirates, kind of like fish in a barrel here, as they're now trapped.
Yeah, and also takes down the Moby Dick.
Yep. And the ice they're all standing on, so even if they survive the blast, they'll be caught treading water.
Yep.
Pretty good move. Good move.
Yeah, I do think the shape of the fists also kind of like it lends to Akainu's personality as well, where it's like it feels like an iron fist of justice, where he's really like hammering home like what kind of like punishment he's trying to mete out to them.
Right.
So the fist does feel very appropriate for who he seems to be as a character.
Totally.
Random reference off the top of my head, just as you were describing the fists. In the old BioWare RPG Jade Empire, there were two paths you could take, basically good or evil, called the path of the open hand or the path of the closed fist. I think we know which one that Akainu would take.
Not very subtle about it.
Nice.
All right. Anything else on this one?
That's about it.
That's it.
All right. Let's keep going. Chapter 565, Oris' Path. The audience at Sabaody, including the supernovas, are disappointed to see the feed of the war has been cut out. The supernovas each decide it's time they depart. While the pirates are forced into the boiling sea, the Moby Dick is caught up in Akainu's attack, causing it to burn down. Whitebeard's power isn't able to shatter the walls, so the pirates' only path is through the opening Oris created, though it's like shooting fish in a barrel, for the Navy as they have the cannons prepared at the opening. To everyone's surprise, Oris gets up and still has some fight left in him. Jinbei launches Luffy up on a stream of water over the wall, where he lands in front of the three admirals. Luffy takes a mast and tries swinging at the admirals, but the attack is stopped by Aokiji. Not wanting Ace's little brother to be the only one fighting up there, Whitebeard gives the order to storm the plaza.
How about that splash page with Luffy and the admirals?
Oh.
Just that's an iconic image.
Yeah.
So good.
Holding the whole friggin' like mast, like just awesome.
Superhero stance.
Your persistence, son of dragon.
Yeah, even was referenced on the cover. So
yeah, so good.
Yeah, Luffy, or even though he couldn't even handle one admiral, he is not afraid to take on all three.
Pretty wild.
I do think it was funny how Luffy was like also not afraid to charge into the opening when everyone's like, "Oh, that's clearly a trap," and then Luffy he runs in and he gets like blasted away. Like, "Oh, Luffy got caught up in that."
Whoops.
Yep.
I told you.
Where's Luffy? Of course, he's the one running in there.
Little Oris Jr. lives.
Yep, he's still there. Still there.
Happy days.
Yeah, he's having a rough day, but he's still in the fight. Still doing his part.
MVP so far, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely in the top three.
Definitely top three.
Yeah. But yeah, it is sad to see the Moby Dick go down though.
Yeah.
So I think the Moby Dick is probably more shape than Little Oars Jr.
Yeah. I think you're right.
And then Whitebeard kind of looks on, and he has a moment where he says, "I'm sorry." So he also feels for the ship because he knows how important the ships are.
Yeah. He then takes his anger out on this steel wall, which is unsuccessful at shattering. And then somebody says, "That's not ordinary steel," which makes you wonder.
Is it Woot steel armor?
As Krieg's signature in the corner, walls made by Krieg.
Just his smiling face with a thumbs up.
Krieg approved.
Krieg approved.
Yeah, those are some tough walls.
Yeah. Wonder if there's an additional element in them.
Yeah, I wonder if they do have sea prism in them. If that has any effect on it. I don't know if that really would make it that strong, but maybe it does have some kind of like resistance to the devil fruit powers. Maybe it weakens it in some way. Don't know for sure. And while the pirates are also floating in the water, the water got heated up by Aki Inu. So not only do they not have somewhere to stand, they're also actively boiling because the water is now so hot.
Talk about from out of the frying pan and into the boiling water.
Yep.
Out of the frying pan into the pot.
Yeah.
And Luffy once again making Whitebeard simultaneously like feel like he's making like everybody else look bad, also being proud of Luffy. He's as foolhardy as his brother. He's like, everybody, we're gonna storm the plaza. So he doesn't want Luffy to be the one like going all in by himself. He's like, all right, we gotta make sure we're doing our part here. Let's get going.
Pretty cool. Luffy kind of leading the charge. With a little help from Jinbei to get over that wall. Safe to assume.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I got on this one.
I think a bucket of seawater would have been more useful than a log here.
You're saying instead of the mast?
Yeah. Maybe 3 buckets of seawater.
Well, I think Aokiji would also have an easy time just freezing it.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, and then I think Aokiji could probably just turn to steam. And then
I feel like Aokiji's ability to manipulate like seawater, it's got to make his ability even more powerful in that regard, because he's able to kind of neutralize a weakness of all devil fruit users, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I do think that is an interesting point that he kind of bypasses the weakness in a way,
right?
Because he's not actively controlling the water, but he is just able to freeze it. Right. And then he can't. It doesn't really matter. He can't swim because he can just walk on the water by freezing it. So
he kind of gets the cheat at devil fruits there,
right? Right.
I have to imagine as the ancient master of the devil fruit somewhere is like, kind of fucked that one up. Like, shit. All right.
Oh right, water freezes.
Oh, duh. You know that gif of the 2 guys in like the tech store, and one of them goes like, "Oh."
Yeah, so definitely some powerful stuff there. All right, but let's keep things moving. Let's go on to chapter 566, Raid. Luffy's attacks are useless against the Logia powers of the 3 admirals. Feeling the pressure, Sengoku gives the order for the soldiers to execute Ace now. Surprisingly, Ace is saved by Crocodile. Aokiji has stabbed Luffy with an ice spike, but is knocked away by Marco before he can attack Luffy again. While the rest of the pirates swim in the water, another coated ship emerges from below the water to lift the pirates, now giving them something to stand on. Oars grabs the ship, then pushes it over the wall into the plaza. Whitebeard and his men have now entered the plaza.
Croc? I did not see that coming.
No. Croc does kind of like the wild card here.
Yeah. I did not see that coming.
I feel like his justification is a little weak. He's just like, I don't want to see anybody happy. It's like, all right, I don't know. But I guess he's just kind of like, hey, don't forget. For me, what it is more just like, hey, don't forget I'm here and I have a great deal of power and you should still be paying attention to me. Like, everyone's looking at Whitebeard and looking at the admirals and stuff. Crocodiles in the house, baby. Don't forget it. That's what I kind of get from this like action. Is
I'll do what Whitebeard can't.
I can influence events. Right. I'm still strong.
But for somebody who's so strong in making himself like part of the stage, I also feel like he's not really actively going after Whitebeard. So if that was his goal, I feel like maybe he's just biding his time a little bit more. So he's just trying to keep things going a little bit,
I guess.
But yeah, it does feel a little out of left field that Croc is one to kind of step up here.
Keeping it exciting.
Oars pulling the ship ashore.
Not just pulling continents, he's also pulling ships.
Pulling ships.
Yeah, it's a good thing they brought a backup ship.
Right?
Bonus ship. Extra round.
Get an extra life, yeah.
That splash panel of Whitebeard just cutting through like 100 Navy soldiers.
So good. We've had some really good splash panels this volume so far.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So good.
Yeah, really just expressing the sheer amount of power that they're wielding.
Yeah, pretty wild. We kind of see that orb of something around the blade as he does that ability again.
That's a good catch. Yeah, it looks like it's adding some kind of like power to the swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if Oris is actually out for the count for real now, because he has a moment before the Whitebeard swing. He says, Ace, I'm gonna, and then he falls to the ground, and then Whitebeard has a moment where he kind of looks down, like kind of sad.
Damn.
A moment of reverence. And then that's where he's like, stand back, my sons. And without the big swing.
Yeah, it's getting serious.
And we got Sengoku rolling his sleeve down. I bet he'll continue to not do anything, but
starting to look threatening.
Just a bit.
Just a little bit.
He's
Have we seen Sengoku's power yet?
No, we haven't really seen him do anything except
I don't think we have. Yeah. But he's the big boss, so he's probably got something up his sleeves.
Is that why he's rolling them up?
Yeah, I think we're about to see it. What's up there?
Yeah, I know. I kind of get the sense he's kind of more like less of a fighter and more of like administrator kind of person. But
yeah,
that's not saying that he can't have some kind of like fighting capabilities, but I just kind of feel like he's not really so much one of their fighters.
That checks out.
Yeah.
Guess we'll find out soon enough. Maybe.
We'll see.
At the beginning of this chapter, we again see Luffy's failed attempt to fight Logia type.
Yeah. They literally just stand there and be like, yeah, you're not doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't even close.
Look, he gave it the old college try.
I do love how each of the admirals has like a separate panel dedicated to them, specifically being hit by Luffy's attack and just staying there, being stoic.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, even when he brings out the gear too, it's really
it doesn't really
not,
it's not a factor here. Like, it's impressive for anyone that could not turn themselves into frickin' matter of different like formless matter, but it doesn't matter here.
Move at the speed of light here.
Yeah.
Can't really outrun that.
Yeah, because when Luffy unveiled Gear 2, that was shortly after his fight with Aokiji. So at that point, he wasn't doing Gear 2, and I don't know if like that was something that kind of helped him come up with that idea. But it's also kind of showing that even then, that would still be ineffective against Aokiji.
That's right. That's when he was like, I need to get more powerful and come up with a new move.
Well, now he needs to do that again.
Yep. Too slow. As Kizaru said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Luffy's just kind of getting tossed around.
Yeah, toss is a light word. I'd say pummeled or
stabbed.
Yeah.
Then Marco steps in, so that's nice.
Yeah.
We also can't dismiss Boa, who shouts,
Boa,
"You dog!
Like,
don't dare lay a hand!"
Don't touch him.
So even to the admiral, she again, it doesn't matter who they are. She's gonna say whatever she wants. But yeah, then at the end of the chapter, we have like the Whitebeard pirates entering the plaza, and they're ready to keep this fight going. Hey, you guys good to move on?
Good to go.
Yep.
Okay, moving right along to chapter 567, Marineford Navy Headquarters, Oris Plaza. Before Whitebeard can send another shockwave over the plaza with his pole arm, Aokiji freezes him. Whitebeard is able to use his tremor powers to crack the ice to free himself. Whitebeard stabs Aokiji with a hockey attack. Aokiji is able to turn part of his body to ice. Jozu helps his captain and shatters Aokiji, but the admiral is just able to reform. Meanwhile, Luffy tries to fight off the Vice Admirals Umanga and Dalmatian. During the fight, Kizaru pierces Luffy with a beam of light. Luffy is incapacitated from the attack. Kizaru kicks Luffy away, but Whitebeard catches him. Kizaru talks down to Whitebeard, telling him it's pathetic that he would let trash like that lead his charge. Whitebeard tells his crew to patch him up, commending Luffy for doing his fair share. But Luffy is not ready to give up the fight yet, despite not being able to stand. Whitebeard and his crew continue to fight off the admirals. Garp decides to make a move, punching Marco away before returning to his seat. He declares that in order to get to Ace, the pirates will have to get through him.
Garp. Continuing to try to thread the needle between I'm helping, but not really helping, but sort of helping. But I don't know how much longer you can sit on the fence here, dude.
Yeah, his hand's kind of been forced here.
Yeah.
But he kind of comes in and makes an impact.
He certainly does.
Yep. He's making his move.
Everybody takes notice, Whitebeard included. Garp. And that would be a sight to see. Prime Garp versus Prime Whitebeard. I don't know, man. I guess I'd say Whitebeard by an inch, but who knows?
Yeah, because I mean, we see more of like what Whitebeard's capable of. Garp, not so much.
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah.
But he does come in and he punches Marco away while Marco's on his Phoenix form.
Yep.
So Garp does not seem to be a slouch himself.
Well, I love how he said he's like playing the fence. Like he literally just takes a baby step forward here. He goes from sitting inactively on the platform to sitting inactively in a chair directly in front of the platform.
But yeah, he's able to kind of just get in and out.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of notices he made his move. And they call him the Legend of the Navy.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting matchup, Whitebeard and Garp. I feel like Whitebeard's got him on mustache power, but Whitebeard also was recently stabbed through the center of the chest, so that's probably not great.
But yeah, it does kind of seem like even the pirates have some kind of respect for Garp because they're aware of his reputation too. So Garp does seem to be a pretty big deal.
I feel like deep down, I just want Garp to save Ace, you know?
It's not going to happen, man. Or I mean,
around.
maybe it will, but I don't think so. I don't know. He's just he's trapped between two worlds, and he just refuses to pick one.
I know.
He seems to be
I
kind
just
of
love
picking
Garp as
his
a
side.
character.
I know.
Yeah. I realize he's conflicted, but like for really liking Garp as a character, I'm kind of like holding on hope that he's gonna have a change of heart, but he keeps doubling down on his decision. So we'll see.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll have to see, because Garp has up to this point been inactive, because again, like we've kind of said, he's conflicted, and he kind of just wanted to take a moment to kind of reflect on Ace as a person, but he also kind of realized that Ace brought this on himself, and he's kind of the mindset that Ace has nobody to blame but himself. He's like, this is what I wanted for you. I wanted you to be part of the Navy, so you went down a different path. I can't really help you out. You don't listen to me, so.
Right.
Meanwhile, somebody else is doing everything they possibly can, which is Luffy, who's way over his head. And he's just going crazy. And even though he's been getting like beat up like nothing.
Achieving nothing.
Yeah. So he gets like knocked away by Kizaru. Whitebeard catches him and then like casually gets tossed. Like Whitebeard's like, here, take care of this kid. He did his part.
I like your gumption, boy, but let the adults talk. All right.
Yeah, I love how he unceremoniously like tosses him away. Like he needs medical attention.
Yeah, so he says, you're nothing but a massive spirit. All you can do is talk big. Pathetic young fool. I love idiots like you.
So
there's an alternate universe where a less ambitious Luffy would also follow Ace's path into becoming like but the King of the Pirates thing is so tied into Luffy at this point that I can't imagine a Luffy without that dream. So it's just sort of like it's what Ace represents. It's a way of like, because Ace is I'm perfectly happy to be a companion of this guy that I want to raise into that position.
Yeah.
Whereas Luffy's like, no, it's going to be me.
If anybody even thinks about being the King of the Pirates, he has to make it clear. No, I'm going to be the King of the Pirates.
I'm going to be the King of the
Pirates.
You
don't say that. I say that.
Yeah. It is interesting to compare Ace and Luffy here. Because like if you like picture Luffy in Ace's shoes, like up on that platform, like I feel like Luffy would be like losing. He'd have to be sedated because he'd just be losing his shit the whole time.
Yeah,
he would not sit there.
No, and just accept his
quietly.
Fate, right?
Yeah, he would not sit there quietly and accept his fate like Ace kind of has. So,
to be fair, like Ace is kind of helpless because he does have the sea prism.
He does,
cups.
Yeah.
So even if he tried to make a run for it, like he wouldn't get very far because like the admirals are right on top of him, and they could all easily just retrieve him, and Ace can't really fight back.
Totally. In practicality, I'm just saying, like spiritually, I feel like he and Luffy are so different. I feel like even Luffy in Sea Prism cuffs would be losing to shit.
Oh yeah, like Luffy. I think Luffy would make a run for it and just get caught by the admirals like in 2 seconds. But yeah,
he'd have to be knocked out or sedated or something.
Yeah. Whereas Ace he's already said he is like, oh, I accept my fate, whatever it is, either way. Yeah. So he's not putting up a fight. He's just kind of being like, I can't really do anything. I'm helpless. I can just watch.
Right.
Because yeah, Ace I think is more pragmatic in that sense.
Right.
We do get this cool confrontation with Whitebeard and Aki Inu, where like Aki Inu kind of stops Whitebeard's attack with his devil fruit, and then like they go like head to head, where like Aki Inu uses his giant magma fist, while Whitebeard blocks it with his own, like he cracks like the air around the fist and stops it. So yeah, I think it's just pretty cool seeing them go head to head.
Pretty sweet.
And also at the beginning we saw Whitebeard against Aokiji, which is also pretty cool. So Whitebeard just gets completely frozen in a block of ice, and he just uses his tremor to crack the ice, which he does from being frozen within the ice, which is cool.
Pretty cool. It's fun seeing all these incredibly powerful players exchanging blows here. We also just get some like cool montages in this chapter of just like kind of the battle happening and where everyone's at, kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
Just to like remind us, we're like in the middle of a huge war that's happening.
Yeah, we also get another mention of hockey, where they say that Whitebeard stabbed Aokiji with pure hockey, and they ask if Aokiji is dead, and he says, "No, of course not, fool." So again, we're seeing hockey is being applied here, but it still seems that Aokiji was able to survive, even though he's been shattered. It's cool seeing his face like come back together.
Yeah, we see Jozu kind of step in here, which seems to be a favorable matchup for Jozu.
You can always go head to head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did kind of brush over how Luffy got injured, where we had another 3 and through, where he got hit by a Kizaru beam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the beam just goes right through Luffy's body.
The classic through and through.
Add it to the Luffy through and through counter that we have going. It's got to be 4 or 5 times now. Poor guy.
And we see the Vice Admirals in their fight against Luffy using some of the 6 powers.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
We see it Momonga doing like the airwalk. And then a finger pistol from... I just referred to him by the character name just to kind of make it simple, but his name's Dalmatian. You can kind of tell because he's dressed like a Dalmatian.
Checks out.
Yeah.
But it looks like he and Garp... Oh, actually, yeah, he and Garp maybe shop at the same store.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Dalmatian actually has a devil fruit or not. Because it looks like he could have a Zoan fruit.
Yeah. Hard to tell where the hat begins and the face ends.
Yeah, because his hand also has taken like some spots.
True.
All right, but you guys, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Luffy gets pretty wrecked here.
Yeah.
kind of reality checked here.
Yeah, he's doing his best. He's doing what Luffy does.
Yep.
All right, you guys good to wrap up with the next chapter?
Yep.
Okay, we have chapter 568, Have It Your Way. Whitebeard tells his men not to be intimidated by Garp, suggesting he is past his prime, while Akainu attacks, saying the same of Whitebeard. During the destruction, Ace thinks back to times when he was a kid and he overheard others badmouth Roger. Ace asked Garp whether it would be better if he was never born. Garp responded that only time would answer that. Ace breaks down into tears, confessing that he doesn't want to die. Elsewhere, Buggy has regained consciousness after being thawed out, thanks to Akainu heating up the ice. Whitebeard falls to his knees and coughs up blood. While caught off guard due to concern for their captain, the Navy admirals take advantage by attacking Marco, Jozu, and Whitebeard himself. On the ground, Luffy begs Eva for a chance to keep fighting one more time, even if it kills him. Reluctantly, Ivankov agrees to inject Luffy with hormones one more time. Luffy gets up and lets out a yell.
No!
Roid Rage Luffy, let's go.
Roid Rage Luffy. That's good.
Yeah, so keep in mind, Luffy has already been injected by hormones twice. So this is after almost dying to Magellan's poison, spending all that time fighting and trying to rebuild his body to get back to normal. And then he had to break out of Impel Down, and he started the fight. And you've already injected him at the fight. And now he's, again, being injected one more time. So, like, Luffy is really pushing the limits to, like, what he can do. And he's still, like, you know, fighting, like, to his fullest here. So he's really been through quite a lot the past few days.
He's gonna start building up a tolerance to this stuff, or he's gonna get addicted to it and even needs to like shoot him up.
Big Eva, join my crew.
No,
I need those hormones.
I need another hit.
But yeah, starting off the chapter, we kind of pick up where Whitebeard is trying to reassure everybody else like that Garp is past his prime. They call him like the hero. He's like, oh, he's just a feeble old soldier. So like you can kind of get a sense like they probably have like a history here where they've been kind of like going head to head for maybe like a while, so they're familiar with each other.
Mhm.
But like they're also kind of like there's a history where they're kind of like, all right, well, I kind of know what this guy's capable of, and like it's kind of like a mutual thing, you know?
Absolutely. I feel like we also got some of that in the build up too, of kind of Garp talking about Whitebeard in headquarters and that kind of thing. I feel like we also kind
Yeah.
of got a sense that they definitely have some history of like, you know, going head to head for so many years and kind of knowing, getting to know each other through that.
Yeah.
Also on this same page, I love Akino's like lava dog that he makes, and then Whitebeard kind of just like wipes it away, but it looks so cool.
Yeah, it's like a hound blaze. I don't think they refer to it here, but yeah, it's a hound blaze.
So cool looking.
Yeah. Yeah, we get a little bit more of like Ace's kind of like inner feelings, and like even as a kid, like he felt like his heritage was something he felt conflicted about, where he's like, does this make me like also like a bad person? Like, should I not live because of this? So even like as a kid, these are the kinds of things that like being Roger's son kind of did to him, and that's the kind of stuff he had to deal with as a kid.
Right.
Even now, he says like, I'm no good. So he feels like it seems like he feels guilty.
Yeah, it feels
for
like
something he couldn't
kind of
control.
like, right. Yeah, it feels like he's been kind of like ashamed of that part of him for a long time.
Yeah. Now the world knows. Yeah, and he feels guilty that like everybody's fighting here over him. After like he's like questioning his own self-worth, like he's like, I'm not worth all this trouble. Like everybody's like putting their lives on the line for me.
Yeah, and in this flashback, he's having that conversation with Garp, and like as it's kind of coming out in the present moment, you can see Garp realizing kind of like what he means with his words, and also seems to be conflicted or struggling with that fact.
Yeah, because I think he probably understands what Ace is feeling.
Right.
But it's okay. Buggy is now back in the fight, so all's okay.
Talk about a wild card. Talk about a change in the environment.
The tides are turning.
Oh. Just imagining like Luffy begging for hormones, and then just Buggy just like teleporting beside him, like patting Luffy on the shoulder. Don't worry, buddy. I got this. just blasting away and just killing all the admirals and just
no need for that, Luffy. I'll take care of it here. You've done your part.
You've done your part. What?
You thought Whitebeard was the Queen Peace, but you were wrong.
You were wrong.
But things do kind of take a turn here, where we start to see, like the main Whitebeard players kind of all take a hit, because we see Whitebeard clutches his chest and starts coughing up blood, and then his crew starts to be concerned, and that kind of lets them put their guard down just for a second, and then the admirals jump right on top of that to try to take him out.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah, so I think this is the reason why Whitebeard took so long to take action, because it was like unclear why he was standing there this whole time and why he wasn't doing anything. I think it's because he didn't want to overexert himself too early in the fight and get to a point where he can no longer fight because he overexerted himself.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's in a weakened condition.
Right.
So I think he had to kind of bide his time and preserve his strength for when he could use it most effectively. But now it's kind of catching up to him, and people can kind of see like, okay, maybe this guy is kind of in worse shape than he's letting on.
Totally. And he is the glue kind of holding all of these pirates together. So, like, you know, if he goes down, chaos could ensue.
Yeah, like the war will become a lot more one-sided, I think, if Whitebeard falls.
Things are in a pickle.
Yeah, the Navy isn't afraid to hesitate, and they just go right for it because now they're like, this is our moment to strike.
While Sengoku continues to do nothing but speak orders.
It's okay.
I don't
One
sleeve,
opinion of Sengoku.
one sleeve has been rolled up.
One sleeve has been rolled
Be warned.
up.
Be warned.
He means business.
He's gonna take the slipper out.
La chancla.
Yeah, so it's at this moment where Luffy is begging for Ivankov to let him fight. Because he's like, I'm not giving up now. Like, I need to do everything I can. Even if it kills me, like, I need to, make sure that at the end of the day, I did everything I could to help my brother. So I don't care if this kills me, just get me back in there.
Yeah, that is a really powerful quote that he says while pleading for Ivankov to give him the hormones. He says, if I don't keep fighting and they kill Ace, I couldn't live with that.
Yeah.
So like you said, he's kind of got all of his eggs in one basket and is fully committed to this no matter what it takes.
100%.
He's all in.
And it's just like such a in character moment for Luffy.
Yeah. He's always been an all or nothing kind of character. For sure.
And we already know what lengths Luffy went to try to save Ace. Like the whole Impel Down arc was about trying to help Ace. So we already had like an entire arc of him fighting, like, trying to take on the impossible odds, and he went through all that. So he's not going to just throw in the towel here after everything he's already gone through. He's ready to keep this fight going.
For all intents and purposes, he's been sprinting since Amazon Lily, and even when he actually had to stop, like he's essentially just been one long run from Amazon Lily to now.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, this is where we're going to leave it. So kind of a cliffhanger.
Just a bit.
The tides are turning.
But which way?
And Luffy just got a second wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it seems like their main forces are now going in the wrong direction after things seem to be going so well. And Luffy was having a hard time, but now maybe this is Luffy's chance to kind of turn things back in their favor. So
maybe if he punches Akaino extra hard this time, it'll work.
You're onto something. Yeah. So do you guys have any overall thoughts for the volume so far?
It's the best. It's great. It's the all-out war and just the peak of action to this point of just all these characters. It is the closest. It's the closest thing that One Piece has for at this point in time to the tournament arc, and any it's like, hey, we're just going to show off a bunch of characters and a bunch of ones you already know, just duking it out and just going nuts, and just big crazy stuff happening. So I love it. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and some characters we haven't seen at all up to this point, and now we're seeing them for the first time, like really going all out. So it's it's really a feast.
I agree. And it looks so good. Like the depiction of these fight scenes have been so good. And it's so cool getting to see these powerful players using their top abilities, because they're meeting their match and they're fighting equally powerful opponents, which is what you want to see.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. I think it's been like just so much action, but also the way that the action is unfolding, it's leaving you guessing, because we're seeing so many like different personalities and powers going on. It's like hard to tell like which way things are going, because we're just seeing like a lot of back and forth. So some things are going in the favor of the Navy, then sometimes it goes in the favor of the Whitebeard pirates, and then it's kind of really back and forth. So it really just keep you on your toes and keeps you excited, and you don't know like which way it's going to go, because it really is anybody's game. And I think it's really exciting because like you want to have like this fight where it's like you really don't know what the outcome's going to be. So I just think we're at such an exciting point in the story, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the rest of this unfold here.
Yes.
Am I?
Okay, so with all that being said, that will conclude this week's episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We Are Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on the YouTube channel at We Are Reading One Piece. This is a spoiler-free channel up to where we record the podcast, so if you're new to this series, you can visit the channel there. You can also find me and this podcast on my YouTube channel at Pirate King Codex for more One Piece content. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can reach us at wearereadingonepiece@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from listeners, so if you're enjoying the show, or if you have any suggestions on how we can make it better, let us know. Next episode, we'll be finishing Volume 58. The name of this era is Whitebeard. I've been Joel, and I've been joined by Evan.
Thanks for listening.
And Sean.
If you come with me, kiss your asses goodbye.
All right. Well, be sure to bring along all of your hopes and dreams, and we'll see you on the next episode.